Boys and girls, welcome to Club Evil. I'm Evil Dick.
Evil Dick! Evil.
You're a devil in disguise is what you are. You're burning me on purpose.
That's what I'm saying. Why do they think that God gives a crap about what goes on in that house? And why do they think that he's going to part the Red Sea for them to the promised land? Didn't you watch last season? What they didn't show last season was me in the diary room praying to my God, Fred.
Like some young Chinese small spaces. Evil Dick. These little gooey telltale.
Are you taking the cameras off of me?
Evil Dick.
And welcome back to another Dick at Night, which is, if you could tell by my shades back here, this is like a Dick in the daytime. With one of my favorites, if not my favorite of all time past house guests, Janelle. How are you?
I'm good, Dick. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sad that you're wearing that Minnesota Vikings shirt, but I know you're a big fan, and you live in Minnesota. I'm a Jets fan, even though I moved to California.
I know you're a Jets fan.
Greece and everywhere else, and I've been with them, forever. So I understand.
I've been a fan of Minnesota Vikings since 1980. So.
Wow, 1980. I graduated high school in '81. How old were you then?
I was born in 1980. I was born a fan.
You were born in '80? God, I'm getting old. I had Russell on the other night from Big Brother 11, and he was talking all kinds of shit about me being old. He's a really nice guy. I brought him out of retirement, from Big Brother retirement. He had nothing to do with anything Big Brother. He's like, fuck, these people are crazy. And we're going to talk about these fucking crazy people fans. Because, I know,
fucking crazies.
They're out of their fucking tree. They really are. And why don't we even get started with some of it? Because I was just on Twitter right now, and I was ripping on some of the people on Jokers. I know you like Jokers. I like Jokers for their updates. I follow Jokers updates on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I don't go to the website because there's so many. What I actually said was somebody made a comment about Jokers and Survivor Sucks and the crazy people that are there.
Yeah.
And it kind of put me on a little tangent. And I said, there's so many shit stains on Jokers. And somebody was like, oh, you're calling us shit stains. And some of us people are nice. And I go, listen, there's a reason I don't go there. If you have just 1, 2, or 3 shit stains on your couch, do you go and sit on it and watch TV? No, you get rid of the couch and you get rid of the roommate that put them there. So I don't want to have...
I do like Jokers just because I like the people there usually. I like several boards, but Jokers has always been my favorite.
And you go to the chat, right?
Which one?
Don't you? The Jokers chat. I thought you did.
In the past I've done that a lot.
Yeah, I think that was the only time I've ever been in Joker's chat was when we were in Seattle doing the Real Player Super Pass chat, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
And do you know that chat on Super Pass is still the most watched anything ever on Super Pass was when we went up to Seattle and did that chat.
I didn't know that.
Now you know.
I had forgotten that we had went and how much fun we had, but yeah.
Don't you remember that crazy transsexual woman that wanted to start a fight with me when we were at the bar?
No, I was. I just remember going to a Spanish restaurant in Pike Market.
Yeah, I think it was in the market, in that marketplace where we were. There was some crazy transsexual cross-dresser or something that left her purse or something underneath the table that we sat at and came over and was being real confrontative. They threw her out of the bar. It was really just weird. Yeah, we were getting pretty lit up at that point. Anyhow, so there is a lot of there's really a lot of fans that are so over the top. But then when you meet them in person, all of the shit talkers, like with me anyhow, they'll go, even the ones that have the balls to say anything, they'll say, well, I really didn't like you on the show, but do you mind if I have a picture with you? You know, that kind of shit. Yeah, whatever. And then they'll go back to talking shit about me the next day on whatever website or this or that. So I usually just stick to Twitter.
Funny.
I don't go to any of the websites because there's more than enough information on Twitter to get me all caught up on what's going on in the house and everything else. So 3 times, going in for the 3rd time, going away with Boogie for the 2nd time. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do. 3 times. Not surprised that Boogie was there. Kind of surprised that you weren't there. Of course, as a coach. Wasn't surprised that Dan was there again. But, the coaching twist this year. Not really too much of a fan of it.
The coaching twist was not a twist. The coaching twist was a lie. The coaching twist was a lie in order to give the coaches a month pass, basically, is what it was. You know, you had to be shocked that Britney was in there because, you know, they're saying the legends of the game, the great players, and of all of the people, you know, she just didn't deserve to be there. I mean, she doesn't fit what they're trying to say. Everyone was kind of shocked that Danielle Reyes wasn't there.
I was too. I thought it was Danielle Reyes or Rachel or you. And I knew that they'd probably do 2 guys and 2 girls, which I wish they would have just done 3 guys, you know? Because there's so many more to pick from.
Absolutely. And they could have done a better job than Britney, if you ask me. But we talked about this as soon as you got out of that house, and we talked about this before you went in the house, and we talked about this since I think I won the show in season 8. How we always wanted to do a season together, and how we could rip through the fucking house, and we would make
Dick, you and I were destined to play Big Brother together. I always thought, because when we did our initial casting in season 6, you were in my van. Don't you remember?
Yeah, we were. Well, my initial casting was season 5, where I was in the finals, and then I went again in season 6, and you were in that group, and.
I met you in season 6 in casting, and I saw you, and I thought, oh, for sure I'll be playing Big Brother with him, and then you were in the house in season 6, and then 7 was All Stars, and then you were next. So it was like, we just keep missing each other, you know?
I know. And last year they bring me in, and this year they bring you in, and it's like 2 ships sailing in the night.
I know. We always talk about getting rid of Chilltown. We always talk about it.
We always have from the beginning. And it's a drag. I'm really bummed because, it would be, because I will never do Big Brother with Danielle again. I've made that very, very clear.
Yeah.
I will never, ever, ever do Big Brother with Danielle. If Danielle's in the house, I'm out of the house. If they lie to me, and then I walk in and Danielle's in the house, those red buttons, I'm going to be pushing them. I'm going to say, either she goes or I go. Let me the fuck out of here. Thank you. Goodbye. This is the 2nd season that you're losing me. So that would be the end of it. So there's just no way. The way that I always look at it is you would be my Danielle to help me out, win the competitions and, strategizing and this and that. And I think that we would be a great team. So.
I think we'd be amazing. It sucks that there was no one that wanted to really play with me this year. They were just all scared of me and thought I was lying, and I was whatever.
It was really
the lies that were created were really bizarre. I was never lying. They're like, she's lying.
Here's what happened with Britney from my perspective. And when you were in the house, I was watching the feeds a lot, and then of course. After you left the house, I really haven't had any reason to watch the feeds, and the feeds kind of bore me anyway, to be honest with you. I'd rather kind of do something else with my life than watch a bunch of people in there just jacking off and stuff. As Joe was jacking off the other day, and Britney was describing it. But with Britney, and I've said this time and time again, and I really find this to be the truth, that if you're not talking shit with Britney, then Britney's going to be talking shit about you. And it's always behind people's backs because Britney's not confrontational. She'll never say anything to anybody's face, but she's more than happy to talk shit behind their back. And, some people on Twitter are like, well, look at who's talking. You talk more shit about everybody. And I'm like, what the thing is I'll meet these people, unlike you motherfuckers online. I'll meet them and I'll say it to their face. You know, it's like, I'm, you know, even when they come on Dick and Night or wherever, if I meet them in person, you know, I will say it to their face. The first thing when I met Rachel, not last season, but like somewhere in between the 2 seasons at the Rainbow and on Sunset Strip, she's like, oh, Dick, I'm a really big fan. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could say that, but I'm not. But everybody's different outside the house, so, you know, it is what it is. And, but I'm not shy about telling them that. I told Rachel and Brendan to their face that I never want to see them on my television again. I can't stand them on my television. They're much more tolerable outside of the, you know, the box that I watch on the wall. So that's the difference between me and the fans.
Too. That's why I was like, the whole Fatgate thing with Danielle started. Like, I don't know if you saw it, but I told Danielle what JoJo had said about her, and that created like all of these lies that apparently I had said that Danielle was fat. And I never said it. I was just repeating information JoJo had told me, and I said, let's go confront her. And Danielle chickened out. She said, no, I don't want to do that.
Well, Danielle was another horrible person that would just, she's like an obsessive compulsive liar. Like, just like, she lies and lies and lies and lies. And the lies about you were just so ridiculous. And I don't know if that started with the spin the bottle thing when you suggested Shane kiss Ashley instead of her.
Did I?
But every time, I don't know. That's what I read online. I didn't see the spin the bottle thing. But
I didn't, I don't think. But
Danielle would talk. You would go up in the HOH, talk to Danielle. As soon as you would leave, she would be like, do you know what Janelle told me? And make up all these crazy fucking lies. And starting with Britney. Britney was such a bitch to you. I'm sure that you haven't heard once. I'm sure you heard a lot, but I'm sure you haven't heard a tenth of it. She was such a bitch. When the thing was, is Britney wanted to be your friend, and when you would not hook up the leash and take her out for walks on an hourly basis, you know, she got all like pissy and bent at you for not wanting to be BFFs with her. And I think the thing with her might have started when you moved out of her bedroom, her coach's bedroom or something. And,
when I asked her, she was really upset. Yeah, I remember that day. I was like, Brittany, I'm going to move out of the coach's suite because my team is really upset right now with the way Willie is treating everyone in the house. And I was like, I've got to protect my team, and if I stay up in the HOH room with you and Willie, it makes it bad for me. And I was just being like honest, and I was hoping that she would see my side of it, and I could tell she was like really pissed off. Definitely.
Yeah, she took it very personal. And like that was the end of it. And you know, she's like, none of the coaches respect me, none of the coaches like me, all the new people are talking shit about me. And as you can see now on the show, she's trying to fit more in with the new people. She's kind of pulling a Danielle Donato, as she's, you know, getting more rejected by by Dan and by Boogie, and you know, she felt by you. But she was just talking so much smack. I even had her brother. It's so funny because like her brother will come on Twitter and like give me some shit, but he mainly gives me shit about sex. Yeah, he'll give me shit about talking that she has a wonky eye, and she does have a wonky eye. I'm sorry, you know, it's not my fault. She has a wonky eye, you know. And of course, I make fun of everybody. I don't care. People make fun of me. Of anybody ever on Big Brother, I can almost guarantee I have more haters than anybody else. So, you know, I don't really give a shit what anybody says, if it's their brother, their mother, their sister. And I find it kind of funny with all the shit I talk about her that he's so upset that I say that she has a wonky eye. She's like, he goes, have you ever been in a beauty pageant? I'm like, oh yeah, 26. A beauty pageant? What does that have to do with anything, man? She has a wonky eye. She does have a wonky eye. So, you know, there's no denying it. I can make fun of it. I do make fun of it. And it's just the way it is. Oh, well.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, when it really started going down with Britney, and then Britney and Danielle were like, I think the biggest shit talkers with you.
Yeah, I've heard that from several fans. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure more than several. There's lots and lots and lots.
Well, most of them. Everyone that watches the live feeds has said that Britney is responsible for me being out of that house. Her lies and all the trash talking about me, she got everyone to turn on me. That's what most of the fans have said to me. And I have not watched any of the episodes, so.
Oh, you know, the episodes only show so much anyway. I mean, you know it as well as I do. And I think that one of the things, you know, one of your mistakes early on where you seemed to get away from it after was you had a lot of animosity towards Boogie. But you let that animosity be known, like throughout the house, telling him about his genital warts being taken off by Dr. Will on Dr. 90210. Talking about the Uncle Jerry.
Uncle Jerry.
Yeah, the Uncle Jerry Craigslist sexcapades and everything else. But you let everybody know, you know, what you thought he was a douchebag, and I think that you know could have been a mistake because it you know it got back to him, and you know Boogie has some animosity towards you anyhow. So the whole thing, how it kind of played out,
don't you feel
really
like
kind
it
of
created
strange.
but don't you feel like everyone thinks he's a complete piece of shit, though, on the show? Like, a lot of the people are going to... I mean, there's so many variables to who can make Final 2. But with Boogie, I feel like they don't respect him as much because I did such a smear campaign on him week 1 and 2.
Well, I think it's that. I think it's that everyone knows that he's in All-Stars, or won All-Stars. And I don't think that there's a lot of trust for Boogie. And there's one thing that, you know, I gained a little bit of respect for Frank because I've been kind of done with this whole Chilltown 2.0 kind of thing. If I was in that house and I saw these two idiots going into the diary room together, I would say, we need to talk, everybody. These motherfuckers are in there going, you know, and this douchebag and this idiot, doing their ridiculous fucking deal. We need to get these motherfuckers out of here right away. And that's exactly what I would have done. And I'm like, they're making all of you look like a bunch of idiots in the fucking diary room. So it's in your best interest to get these fucking assholes out of here. But
that's what I tried to say in a much nicer way, Dick. I did try and tell the house guests that, and no one would listen to me. I said, if you keep Frank and Boogie together, it's really stupid. I told everyone that in the house. Not one person, they would nod their head like they were listening, but they weren't listening. They think that they can use Frank and Boogie in their game, and that it's beneficial to use them in their game rather than me. And I think that'll be their downfall, because Frank and Boogie are a huge, huge, strong duo, you know?
It's just stupid. You take people like that out. And Frank, I think, is sitting better than Boogie. I saw him talking to Ian the other night on one of the few times that I watched the feeds. And Frank was trying to talk Ian into feeling people out about backdooring Dan, which would have been the move for this week. I mean, it would have been the move for this week. But Ian's like, oh, don't rock the boat. Oh, it'll be a bloodbath. Oh, this, oh, that. And he's playing with his nipples and he's playing with his balls. And you know how Ian is. He's really uncomfortable. And I don't know, Dan.
Yeah.
I don't know what we should do. And it's like, God damn, calm down, you fucking monkey. You're making me crazy. But, you know, Frank ends up listening to Boogie. Boogie doesn't want Dan out because it's getting Dan out is this week would be great for Frank, but it would be bad for Boogie because it put more of a target on Boogie. And Frank is stupid for listening to Boogie. Boogie's just using Frank at this point. But Frank also knows, I heard him say that if, you know, when it comes down, they're going to put me and Boogie on the block together, and they're going to go after him before they go after me. And that's the truth. And I'm glad that
is true.
At least he sees that and he understands that. So, you know, they're both using each other to a certain extent, and, you know, good for them. So, what else did I want to talk to you about? Okay, you've gotten a lot of criticism and for going in the house with a young baby. All right? Boogie also has a young baby, and the other two are married for under a year. I'm going to bring up June, and I know that there's been some words between you guys, but I'm good friends with June.
Boogie's not married.
No, has a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Dan,
his baby's like 5 weeks older than mine.
Yeah, you both have very young babies. But yet you've taken the majority of the shit for going on the show and leaving your baby. Both Britney and Dan are married for under a year, so they're leaving their spouses that they're, that they're just married to. And this I look at as CBS. CBS really, being the douchebag in this whole thing for calling, the two people that have just gotten married, two people that have just had babies, and offering this to you guys. I'm sure that you have something to say. I like June. I know that she's been very harsh on you about it online and stuff. And I'm sure that you've had some words online or whatever, and I'm not trying to start anything. Like I said, I'm good friends with June. I'm good friends with you. I could see both of your points, but I'm sure that you have something to say, so I don't want to keep talking. I'm going to let you go ahead.
I mean, June can be mad at me if she... Sorry. June can be mad at me if she wants, but, I mean, I made the best decision for me, I think. My husband told me to go do it. And I have both my mom and my in-law here, and I had a live-in nanny. So my baby was completely fine. I was gone for 34 days. Who gives a shit? And if I would have made jury, Violet would have been in jury with me. So it doesn't fucking matter, Like,
everybody heard that.
It's not a situation like Boogie's not going to get to see his kid if he goes to jury. I put that in my contract.
So, and the contract was renegotiated when you were in the house, right? From what I understand, what people in the feeds were saying anyhow. Or was that done ahead of time? Well, it couldn't have been done ahead of time.
I don't want to talk about production too much because... Okay,
you're still under contract.
Yeah. I don't want to get in any more trouble.
Like they're going to sue you. Okay, here's something that's come up since you've been out of the house.
They're not going to sue me. They just call me and yell at me, so,
Well, and you've been yelled at a lot this season.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they're just like, they don't like it when I talk contracts and stuff.
Well, they were yelling at you before you even went in the house, but yet this Missy A, whatever this fucking guy, had all of the information, about the whole twist and about everything. So, I think that they have no business saying shit. Just like, fuck off. You guys leaked the goddamn thing.
Right. Production thinks that Missy A person was a hacker. Because they knew things about production, the coaching suite and stuff. Like none of us knew that. So production thought that Missy A was a hacker.
Well, it's kind of odd to me that. Oh, jeez, how? Fetus, hold this for just a second. Fetus. Okay, so, and we're back. I was having I don't know what happened with my internet, but it went down to nothing, and now it's back full bars. So, anyhow, what the hell were we talking about? Do you remember?
We were talking about the hackers that happened, the spoiler, before BB14 started.
Well, I just found it kind of odd that, this Missy got all of his information from Russell Hands, spoiling these seasons of Survivor. And then all of a sudden Willie Hands is on, and then this guy knows this stuff. So I found it very, very odd. What did you think about Willie? I know you hated him. I liked him in the beginning. Like, maybe before the feeds came on. I'll tell you how it went down. Like, I was so excited to work with him. He seemed pretty cool. Like, I was excited that he was just not going to be someone that laid down and let people go after him. Like, I like that about him. But when he started overplaying and making too many deals in the house, and when he started wanting to keep Frank more than Kara and making deals with Frank to come after me and my team, I no longer wanted to work with him. As a person, I think that Big Brother is too much of a pressure cooker for him. I think he should have definitely played Survivor. If there's more space to, like, get out and not be in a house, and it's for a shorter time period. I think for him, it was just the lockdowns that really annoyed him. Not smoking and not having his vodka.
I think that Willie and I could have been friends, but unfortunately his disdain for my team, and of course for me, because I definitely led the charge to come after him when I found out that he was coming after my team. Yeah, he wasn't too happy with me, and that's fine. I don't really give a shit.
No, why should you?
Yeah, I don't care if he's mad at me. The thing is I was working with him in the beginning. He fucked it up by making too many deals in the house. Every single person in the house he had to deal with. When he knew that when he wanted Kara to stay, he would go to Kara and Danielle and make a deal. You don't make that many deals in the house and expect people to not want to target you, you know?
Well, he had what I always refer to as HOH, meaning that he had the first HOH, which is like, 12 days long as opposed to a week like they normally are.
Yeah.
And he got very, very comfortable up there. He thought that the bed was his throne. He's telling people, can you go get so-and-so and bring them up here to speak to me? You know, like he's from the high and mighty speaking to the peasants.
Right.
Kind of like Dustin in my season. There's quite a few people that get the HOH-itis. I saw him talking to Shane at one point, and he says, well, next week you're going to win HOH, and I'll win it the week after that, and we're going to do this all throughout the whole season. And it's like, motherfucker, shit just doesn't work like that at all. It never does, and they plan it so it doesn't. He was trying,
He was too bossy as well, Dick. You wouldn't have liked working with him. It was really difficult for me because I'm a pretty strong-minded person, and for me to just sit back and let this, like, bully try and scream at me or tell me what to do, I didn't really like it, especially I knew that there was definitely some red flags going off the day that he called my team and Brittany's team upstairs, and he went off on me for talking to Kara and Danielle. When I wasn't talking game with them, I was talking to them about showmances.
Well,
he, like, freaked out on me.
Who cares? I can talk to anybody about whatever the fuck I want to, bitch.
Exactly. He's too controlling. He was trying to control me, and I'm not controllable. And he was like, you can't talk to them, and he was like all mad. But he doesn't understand that it's Big Brother, and it's okay to go off and talk with someone about personal shit or whatever you want to talk about. You're in the house 24 hours a day. You can talk to other people in the house.
Well,
and him and Britney were just so paranoid. Those two were just, they fed off each other, just the most paranoid people ever.
And as a coach or a fake coach, Britney was a horrible, horrible coach. She was absolutely terrible with JoJo. She was absolutely terrible with him, where she's like a mother scolding a 2-year-old. You know, wait until you see the show. You'll watch the episodes and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, Britney, I'm going to go back to Britney. I don't give a fuck with any of you motherfuckers that are going to be saying that I've been talking too much shit about Britney, because you know what? There's a lot of shit to talk about Britney. Where was I going with this? Britney has been getting this, especially on your eviction episode and the following episode, has been getting this angelic edit. I'm not kidding you. It's like the edit is the most ridiculous, lopsided edit I've ever seen since Jerry in season 10, where he got the nice grandpa old man edit, when in real life he's like, hey, you son of a bitch, I'll kick your ass and fuck your grandmother, you know, kind of a thing.
Okay.
And I mean, that was Jerry in the house, and then you'd see Jerry on the show, and he's like, you know, oh, how you doing, and this and that, and being the nice old grandfather where everybody in the house fucking hated him. Britney talked so much shit about you and was so catty and so mean about you, but yet these last 2 episodes, I don't even know where they found these clips of her being, I'm so sad to see Janelle go, all of this shit, and I'm like, is this for fucking real? I mean, really, are you, Rich, Allison, come on, be fucking real. This Britney's a bitch. We know she's a bitch. Portray her as a bitch, not as this sweet little girl that's sorry to see Janelle go, because she wasn't sorry to see you go. So I'm just gonna.
She was behind the whole thing. She caused it. I haven't seen the show, but I'm not surprised that she's trying to cover her tracks with the viewers, because Britney doesn't want to be hated, and that's just her manipulating the fans. That's just what it is.
You have a very good point, because I did hear her saying some things like that on the show, especially after you went out you were evicted, you went out into the audience, and the insane, like, ovation that you got. You know how it is when you're in the house and you hear people going out, you hear people cheering with the live audience now, and it really, really wigged her out. It really scared her, and that's really when she started changing her tune. Now, there was something else, too. When Dan went into the diary room to give his vote against you, and I feel like I'm, like, revealing this to you, and I'm not telling on people. Yeah. It's on the episode. You're going to fucking see it anyway. Where Dan was one of the people that was plotting your demise, and he goes into the diary room, and I kid you not, he's like, America, I'm really sorry. I tried really hard, but it just wasn't going to happen. So, Julie, I sadly have to say I'm voting to evict Janelle. And everyone online and everywhere is going, what the fuck is he trying to pull this bullshit? Because he was completely full of shit.
Don't try and play America, Dan, because you can't.
No, you figure no. And we're going into the diary room. I love the fact that you told Julie that Boogie was a douchebag, and they believed you out even on the East Coast.
They did? How'd they do that?
Because it's on a delay ever since. It's on like a 5-second delay, 10-second delay, or something like that. Yeah, since season 9, because they cuss so much during the live shows in season 9, they put them on delay.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know douchebag was a bad word. Oops, my bad. Sorry, baby.
Look, if you look up George Carlin's 7 Dirty Words, his comedy routine, douchebag was not on that list of words. It was like cock, cunt, fuck, motherfucker, this, that. I can't even remember them all.
Yeah, I could have called him a motherfucker.
Yeah, that would have been
called
more
him
my
what
style.
he is, a total D-bag.
Yeah, well, and I thought it was great because your lips were so pronounced that all of America knew exactly what you were calling him.
Really?
even though they didn't bleep you out, they just took the word out. It was like silent for that second while you were saying douchebag. But I found it very, very amusing.
I think Julie Chen liked it, too.
I did, too. She was laughing. And
she loved
Julie
it.
loves
She
you.
was like, oh, my God.
Julie's doing another, if you remember, I think that we even talked about this last season, how Julie would never once did Julie interview Rachel in the HOH.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this?
I didn't notice that.
Oh, you can tell who Julie likes and who Julie. Well, I'd say you can tell who Julie doesn't like because she won't interview them in the HOH. And this season, guess who didn't get the HOH interview? Danielle.
Well, if you remember, Dick, do you remember when we went back for Jeff and Jordan's season and we did our little commentary in front of Julie? And Mike Boogie gave her a gift from Tiffany's. And she didn't even care. She didn't even say thank you.
I remember that. I do remember that. He was like all stuck in it.
Funny.
He's such a suck up. But
he's a piece of shit.
I know with the producers and with Robin, and I'm going to say it, and I don't give a fuck, that they all frequent his restaurants, and he has his nose up their ass and so on and so forth, and schmoozes them, and which is all well and good. That's part of what he does in his business. But I kind of feel like that's how he got back on the show. It's not like he's like a really big liked or has this huge fan base on Big Brother.
Mm-mm.
Really?
No,
and
he
All
doesn't.
Stars. Yeah, everybody knows All Stars. He got back because of Dr. Will, not because of his great gameplay.
Yeah, he was out fourth his first
2.
season. He was out fourth, week 4, his first season.
He was horrible.
He's basically there because they wanted Will and they couldn't get Will. That's why he's there.
I talked to Dr. Will, and Dr. Will did tell me that they approached him and that basically they wouldn't pay him enough money. So he passed. And Dr. Will has no reason to lie. He's on QVC selling his facial products all the time. He's got the doctor tat off, so on and so forth. Motherfucker's a doctor. What does he need? If he's going to take time off from all of that, I could see him saying, "You're going to have to pay me," and I can see them saying, "No," which is kind of stupid because then they turn around like a shitty season like last season, and they get Bacon Boy. How much do you think they paid Tori Spelling to make that 10 minutes of appearance?
I know.
I mean, she's rich beyond rich. She had like the Spelling Mansion in Beverly Hills. It was like a fucking castle. Yeah. It was the biggest mansion in Beverly Hills. And when her father died, she got that shit, her and her mother. And she's not wanting for money in any way, shape, or form. They must have paid her a lot of fucking money to pretend to like Especially,
I know,
she was like 9 months pregnant, too. Like, she really wants to go. I'm sure that, like, I've never been pregnant. I'm not saying anything against pregnant women. Don't get me wrong. But I'm sure that you're not feeling your most attractive at like 9 months and counting when you're pregnant.
No, you just want to lay in bed.
Yeah, so they must have paid her a fat dime to do that, but yet they cheap out and don't want to, give up the money for Dr. Will. It just doesn't make sense to me. When he would have been.
But Boogie did say that Dr. Will does want to do it again. That's what Boogie says.
I talked to Dr. Will in his chat. And he asked me to come into his chat. He's like, how he is. If you're not busy, Dick, why don't you drop in my chat? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I talked to him about doing a Dick at Night, just like we're doing a one-on-one thing, which he's probably going to do next week. And he brought up in the chat, he's like, we should propose to Allison and Rich like you against me in an apocalyptic type of season or something. I'm like, dude, I'm down. Let's do it. So,
because then you can go after him. I would love it.
Yeah, exactly. Dr. Will, I don't care what anybody says. I don't give a shit if Boogie wins this season and says I'm a 2-time winner. I'm the only 2-time winner. Number one, I'll turn around and go, dude, you got a month pass, bitch. What are you talking about? And number two, Dr. Will's a much better player than he is.
Not only that, but Frank was supposed to leave the week before that I was evicted, and that saved Boogie.
Yes, absolutely. And we talked about this too, where Frank got, which was very, very unfair. Why would they do that to Shane like that? It's to save Boogie, right?
And me.
I mean, I can't think. And it screwed you, though.
It screwed me big time because once Boogie found out that I was behind it, like he knew that I had to go. That's why he never, wanted to work with me or whatever. Not that.
And that's why it was so unfair what they did. Giving Frank that, there's no eviction tonight, when it would have been, they cheated the viewers in a shitty season, and this is considered a very shitty season. They cheated the viewers of what would have been like probably the best blindside since Dustin was sitting next to me in season 8.
Right.
Because Boogie didn't know.
They were so believing it.
Yes. Oh. And they had no idea. And, Boogie threw a fit afterwards when he found out that he was going to be blindsided. Boogie wanted
to leave. He wanted to leave when he found out that he was about to be blindsided. He wanted to go home. Just sucks.
What was he telling you about it?
We were in the back of the Skid Row room, and he was bitching and moaning about it. Basically, just saying that he didn't want to be there, that he was lied to by Dan and lied to by Danielle and lied to by Will, and he wasn't happy with the situation, and he didn't understand why people had to lie to him about their votes. Why can't you just be honest in Big Brother? He honestly said that to me, and I found that pretty funny.
Wait a minute, funny? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard from Boogie, who fucked everyone on All-Star season? Come on.
Yep. That's what he said. He said he was pissed that he was lied to, and he couldn't believe it. I think it was more that he just couldn't believe that he was about to be blindsided.
Yep. Yeah, well, he was. That's the thing, is he was blindsided. Frank was blindsided. Frank should have gone home, but the producers stepped in and saved Frank to save Boogie, and give Boogie that ally. That they like that little chill town. And, I took a poll.
Stupid.
I took a very a non-scientific poll on my Twitter, and I asked after they did the first Chilltown type diary room with both of them in there going and falling off the couch and all the shit that they did that him and Will did. And I said, okay, here's a poll. Who loved the Chilltown diary room? Who hated the Chilltown diary room? And it was my results were 97% absolutely hated it and thought it was ridiculous and thought that Boogie needs to get a new shtick. 2% absolutely loved it because it took them back to All Stars. And 1% wondered if Dan has a different color shirt than what he always wears.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Dan has 3 shirts. It's all a marketing thing for Dan, though. It's all marketing.
Nobody even knows what that shirt is. That red shirt with the big white blob on it.
The U. It's the lake in Michigan, apparently. I don't know.
Now, people always ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. It looks like a big fucking bird flew over and shit on his shirt. I have no idea. And have you seen Joe's diary rooms? Have you seen any episodes?
No, I haven't seen any of the episodes. Nothing.
You remember how Dan always would yell at the camera in the diary room in season 10? Yeah. Joe, if you turn the volume up on your television 10 times, I'm not kidding. Joe's like, and you know what else? And I'm like, oh my God. Everyone's like, shut the fuck up, dude. This guy screams at the camera.
His goodbye message a little bit, I was like, wow, he's really yelling. Because he was like, Janelle, I am going to avenge your eviction. And he was like yelling it. It's sweet, though. He's like the only one that wanted to play with me. And he's like the only one that had my back in that whole house. Like,
why do you think that he is the only one that wanted to play with you? Just because of the bullshit that was talked about you? Do you think that you could have come off like a little softer, maybe, to everyone, or
to my team, or what?
To the people in the house. What do you look at as your faults in this season?
Well, I picked a shitty team. Clearly,
Dan picked
a
shitty team.
Dan picked a shitty team too, but Will and Ashley were so not. They didn't like me. They hated me. So picking a shitty team and continually trying to work with them and keep them in the game and all that stuff is really hard when your team hates you and doesn't want to play with you or respect how you play or whatever.
Now, Will's in the house crying that, he made a mistake with Janelle and this and that. And Will, I can't fucking stand this guy. His wig is the most horrible wig I've ever seen. Extensions, whatever it is. He's always picking at it like he's got fleas. But the guy just... Were you there when he told the story about losing his virginity to this pilot guy and how the pilot gave him scabies?
What? No. I wasn't.
I swear to God. People go, no, you're making this up. I don't need to make things up. I'm the honest one. I just store these little bits of tidbits of information away so I can rip on people later with them. And if I do end up having to do doing the backyard interviews this year, that will be my first question: is how he got rid of the scabies. But Will's just something else. There's so many people I'm just not a fan of. So is
Ashley, though. Like, I never understood why she hated me so much. I have no idea why. Because I never was anything but nice to her.
And she was talking shit about you and this and that. I just don't get it. Oh, it sounds like Violet's home.
I don't either. That's the thing. I don't understand it. Like, this season just sucked. The people in there, like, Ashley hated me. Will hated me. Britney hated me. Danielle hated me. Boogie definitely hated me, and that's fine because I hated him too. Just like everyone in there just hated me.
And Dan is kind of lost in there right now. I feel like what's funny about Dan is Dan says that he's throwing every competition because he's really trying to be Dr. Will, but yet in the pirate ship where it's leaning and everybody's holding on and leaning, the one that Danielle ended up winning and you went home, Dan's up there for how long? Like 2 hours?
Like 2 hours at least.
And then he goes into the diary room and he says, well, it's just another competition I'm throwing. I didn't want to win any of that. And I'm sitting there going, you lying motherfucker. Right. Who stands up there for 2 goddamn hours? If you're going to throw it, you do something like Dr. Will does, and you go, oh, I slipped, and you fall off after 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. But you don't hang up there for 2 goddamn hours.
No.